Hello, welcome to the Scroll Ensemble Classical Music Improvisation channel. I'm Robert. This is a video series about using Bach's Cello Prelude in G major as an inspiration for our own improvised or perhaps composed preludes. This is already video number 4, and so let's get on with it. Let's first have a little look at what we've done so far. We improvised rhythms on one note, 2 and 3 notes using the chord of G major. Then we organized it in a meter, for instance in 3, and added some character like a waltz. We added some phrasing so that we can get bigger elements. Then we also added the dominant chord. And then we were thinking about rhythmical motifs, as you've already heard so far. Each time we can use a similar rhythm, and that way the piece feels like a whole. In this video we're going to focus on the subdominant chord. It's a chord below the dominant, so the dominant we formed on top of the D on the 5th degree, and then went up a third and a third again, D, F sharp, A. And the subdominant is formed on the C, on the 4th degree, sub, below the dominant. Also here we're going to go a third up, C, E, and a third up again, G. And here I've given a little overview of those chords. Bach doesn't really expressly use the subdominant, but it will be important in building up towards our harmonic building block, the quiescenza. So, first of all, you can just cycle from one chord to the next, just to feel it. Tonic. That was the dominant. And the subdominant finally. And then of course you can go back to the tonic. Now let's try to add a rhythmical motif. We've done that before of course, but each time we add a new ingredient we have to check how our cake is doing. So far we've been freewheeling through the chords. Now let's experiment with a rhythmical motif and a meter that really organizes that. If you're having difficulty with that, try to also isolate what is the issue. Is it still rather the meter or the rhythm? You can practice that separately. Is it a specific chord or changing from one chord to the next? Then focus on that for a while, but even a few days perhaps, until that really becomes part of your vocabulary. So I would propose to just start on one of the chords, probably the tonic, and then stay there for a while. We've seen before that Bach does that as well, and you can just take as long as you want on that chord. Then when you feel ready, or when you feel like the music is ready, you can move on to the next chord. And for now it doesn't really matter which of the two you choose. And maybe I'll now move to the subdominant. Now I could go back to the tonic. And maybe now it's time again for the dominant. And back to our tonic. So we've already spoken about a rhythmical motif that comes back and that helps to organize the music in bigger chunks. Now we can make even bigger organizational chunks, for instance by looking at harmonic motif. So it's a specific harmony that might be repeated or might come back. And one such very typical motif that also Bach used, but also many other composers, is called the Bergamasca. And we start on the tonic, we go to the subdominant, then dominant, and then the tonic. And here is an example of that. So, here I use the same rhythmical motif all the way through, but I didn't think too much about how it's melodically organized. And then I added I started at the tonic, then went to the subdominant, and then to the dominant, and back to the tonic. And I could repeat this a few times. An example of that is on Patreon. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to share, like, etc, etc. Next video we're going to look at how to fill in those boring chordal tones we've been using so far. Have a creative week and see you in the next video.